Did you know that the average American household spends over $600 a year on their garden? But here's the shocking part. 73% of that money is completely wasted on things you don't actually need. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 7 sustainable garden hacks that will slash your gardening expenses by at least $400 this year, while creating the healthiest, most beautiful garden you've ever grown. Before you spend another dollar at the garden center, you need to see what Martha from Wisconsin did. She used just 3 of these hacks and saved $847 in her first season. And the best part? Her tomatoes grew 40% bigger than her neighbors, who spent 3 times more. Welcome to Golden Seniors Living, and by the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to transform your garden into a money-saving, planet-healing paradise. Before we dive in, take a quick second to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. We bring you weekly tips that help you save money and live better, especially in your golden years. But first, let me ask you something. Raise your hand if you've ever walked into a garden center for just one thing and walked out with a cart full of expensive products. Comment guilty if that's you. Because you're definitely not alone. The garden industry wants you to believe you need expensive fertilizers, costly pest control, and premium soil amendments. But here's what they don't want you to know. Mother Nature has been growing incredible plants for millions of years without a single product from Home Depot. Let's start with 2 hacks that will change the way you garden forever. Hack 1. Rainwater Harvest Magic. Here's a question for you. Why pay for water when the sky gives it to you for free? Every time it rains, thousands of gallons of clean, plant-friendly water rush off your roof and disappear into the ground. And yet most gardeners pull out a hose and pay for treated water that plants don't even like. Rainwater is better than tap water. It's naturally soft, chlorine-free, and packed with a little bit of nitrogen from the air. That tiny boost makes plants greener and healthier without any chemicals. And here's the fun part. You can capture it with a simple barrel under your downspout. No pumps, no gadgets, no expensive system. Just a barrel and a piece of mesh to keep bugs out. Every time it rains, that barrel fills like a savings account for your garden. By mid-season, you'll have a ready supply that can cut $100 or more from your water bill. 2 barrels, double the savings. Imagine this: while everyone else is dragging hoses around and watching their meters spin, you're filling your watering can straight from nature's tap. And your plants respond instantly. Bigger leaves, faster growth, and no water stress because rainwater is already the perfect temperature. So here's your challenge. Before you buy another fancy sprinkler or water timer, set up 1 rain barrel. Watch how quickly it pays you back. Hack 2. DIY Seed Saver. Quick question. When was the last time you counted how many seed packets you buy each spring? 3, 5, 10. Now multiply that by $3 or $4 each. It adds up fast, but it doesn't have to. Those same packets are hiding right inside the plants you grew last year. At the end of the season, let a few of your strongest plants finish naturally. They'll produce seeds, hundreds of them. All you need to do is collect them, dry them, and keep them in a paper envelope until planting time. Here's the surprising part. Seeds from your own garden are not just free, they're better. They carry the genetics of plants that already know your soil, your weather, and your care. Next year they sprout faster, grow stronger, and often give you a better harvest than brand new packets from the store. It only takes a little attention to see how much nature gives back. Tomatoes, beans, lettuce, peppers, all producing next season's plants right there in front of you. This single habit can cut your seed costs by more than half, and over time, your garden becomes self-sustaining. Think about it, you're no longer shopping for seeds, you're creating them. That's the smartest investment you'll make this season. With free water and free seeds, you're already ahead. Now let's talk about something that feeds your plants and saves you a small fortune. Hack number 3 alone could save you $150 this year. Hack number 3 is called the coffee ground gold mine, and it's sitting in your kitchen right now. Most people throw away something that professional gardeners pay good money for. Last month, I watched my neighbor Janet spend $45 on nitrogen fertilizer, while I was getting the exact same results for absolutely free. Hack 3. The coffee ground gold mine. Here's what's costing you money right now. Every time you buy commercial fertilizer, you're paying for 3 main nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. A 10-pound bag costs anywhere from $15 to $30, and most gardens need multiple applications throughout the season. But your morning coffee routine is producing liquid gold. Used coffee grounds are packed with nitrogen, the exact same nutrient you're paying premium prices for. But here's where most people mess this up. You can't just dump coffee grounds directly on your plants. That's the million-dollar mistake that kills more gardens than drought. The grounds are too acidic when fresh, and they'll actually repel water instead of helping your soil. Here's the right way to do it. After brewing your morning coffee, don't throw those grounds away. Instead, spread them on a tray or old baking sheet and let them dry for 24 hours. This neutralizes the acidity and prevents clumping. Once dried, mix 1 part coffee grounds with 3 parts regular potting soil or compost. This creates what I call super soil, a nitrogen-rich growing medium that costs you absolutely nothing but gives you professional-grade results. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Coffee shops throw away pounds of these grounds every single day. I walked into my local Starbucks last Tuesday and asked if I could have their used grounds. Not only did they say yes, they actually started saving them for me in a special container. One large coffee shop produces enough grounds to fertilize a 400-square-foot garden for an entire season. That's $150 worth of fertilizer that would otherwise end up in a landfill. But wait, there's a bonus benefit most people never discover. Coffee grounds don't just feed your plants, they also repel slugs, snails, and ants naturally. That's another $25-40 you won't spend on pest control products. Let me show you the exact math. A 10-pound bag of quality nitrogen fertilizer costs $25 and covers about 1,000 square feet once. Most gardens need 3 applications per season, so that's $75 just for nitrogen. Add in pest control products at $30, and you're looking at $105 per season. Coffee grounds give you both benefits for free. Speaking of free fertilizer, wait until you see hack number 4. This one involves something you throw away every single week, and it's even more powerful than coffee grounds. But first, comment below and let me know, have you ever asked a coffee shop for their used grounds? I'm curious how many of you are ready to try this money-saving hack. Hack number 4 is called the Eggshell Calcium Factory, and it solves the most expensive problem in vegetable gardening. Every year, millions of gardeners lose hundreds of dollars worth of tomatoes, peppers, and squash to something called blossom end rot. The garden centers will sell you calcium supplements for $20-30 per bottle, but you're throwing away the perfect solution every time you make breakfast. Here's the problem that's costing you money. Calcium deficiency causes blossom end rot, those black sunken spots on the bottom of your tomatoes and peppers. Once it starts, you'll lose 30 to 50% of your harvest. For a typical home garden, that's $100-200 worth of vegetables gone. The garden industry wants you to buy expensive calcium chloride or lime products, but every eggshell contains 95% calcium carbonate, the exact same compound in those expensive supplements. Most people make the mistake of just crushing eggshells and throwing them in the garden. That doesn't work because the calcium isn't available to plants in that form. You need to process them correctly. Here's my secret method that works like magic. Save your eggshells in a container on your counter. Don't rinse them, just let them air dry. Once you have about a dozen shells, bake them in your oven at 200 degrees for 10 minutes. This sterilizes them and makes them brittle. Now comes the crucial step. Grind those baked shells in a coffee grinder or food processor until they're powder fine. This powder dissolves quickly in soil and delivers calcium directly to your plant roots. Mix 1 tablespoon of eggshell powder into the soil around each tomato or pepper plant at planting time. Then sprinkle another tablespoon around the base every month during the growing season. But here's what most people don't know. Eggshells have a second superpower. That same calcium that prevents blossom end rot also deters slugs and cutworms. These pests hate crawling over sharp calcium particles. Let me break down the savings for you. A bottle of liquid calcium supplement costs $25 and treats about 20 plants for 1 season. Slug bait costs another $15.20. The average family uses 203 dozen eggs per week, producing enough eggshell powder to treat 50+ plants and create a natural pest barrier around your entire garden. Robert from Texas started using this method 3 years ago. He went from losing half his tomato crop to blossom end rot to having 0 losses and saving $180 per season on supplements and pest control. Here's a pro tip that doubles your results. Save eggshells from different types of eggs, chicken, duck, even quail if you can find them. Each type has slightly different mineral profiles, creating a more complete calcium supplement than anything you can buy. Now the next hack is my personal favorite because it saved me $200 last year alone. This is where most people make a costly mistake that actually damages their garden while emptying their wallet. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments, how many eggs does your family go through in a week? Because the more eggs you eat, the more money you're going to save with this hack. Hack number 5 is called the newspaper mulch revolution, and it's going to change everything you think you know about weed control and water conservation. Most gardeners spend $3.5 per bag on wood chip mulch, and a typical garden needs 10-20 bags per season. That's $50-100 just for mulch, plus another $30-50 on weed killer, plus higher water bills from constantly irrigating exposed soil. Here's what's draining your bank account right now. Exposed soil loses water 10 times faster than mulched soil. If you're not using mulch, you're literally watering the air instead of your plants. Your water bill could be 40 to 60% higher than necessary. Then there's the weed problem. A single weed can steal enough nutrients and water to feed 3 vegetable plants. Most people buy expensive weed killers or spend hours pulling weeds by hand. But newspapers solve both problems for free. Old newspapers create a perfect weed barrier that slowly decomposes and feeds your soil. The black and white ink is soy-based and completely safe for vegetables. Here's the exact method that professional organic farmers use. Layer 8-10 sheets of newspaper around your plants, overlapping the edges by at least 4 inches. Wet the newspaper with your garden hose. This prevents it from blowing away and starts the decomposition process. Now here's the secret step most people skip. Cover the newspaper with just 2 inches of any organic material, grass clippings, shredded leaves, even straw. This thin layer holds the newspaper in place and makes it look attractive. The newspaper blocks 99% of weeds while allowing water and air to penetrate to the soil. As it decomposes over 6 to 8 months, it adds carbon to your soil and feeds beneficial earthworms. But here's where it gets really interesting. Newspaper mulch keeps soil temperature 15 degrees cooler in summer and 10 degrees warmer in winter. This extends your growing season and reduces plant stress. Let me show you the incredible savings. A typical 20x 20-foot garden needs about 15 bags of wood mulch at $4 each. Add weed killer at $25, plus the extra water costs from unmulched soil, and you're spending $100+ per season. Newspapers cost you nothing if you get them from neighbors, coffee shops, or libraries that recycle old issues. Even if you buy them, a week's worth of newspapers costs $5 and mulches the same area as $60 worth of wood chips. Here's a bonus tip that saves even more money. Black and white newspaper works perfectly, but avoid the colored glossy sections. Those inks aren't plant safe. Stick to regular newsprint, and you'll have the most effective weed barrier available. The earthworms love decomposing newspaper, and within a year your soil will be richer and more fertile than any expensive soil amendment could make it. Now speaking of soil amendments, the next hack involves something you probably flush down the drain every day. This liquid gold can replace every expensive soil conditioner in the garden center. Drop a comment if you've ever tried newspaper mulch, or if you're planning to start collecting newspapers after watching this video. Hack number 6 is called the pasta water miracle, and it's the secret that Italian grandmothers have been using for centuries to grow the most incredible vegetables. Every time you cook pasta, rice, or potatoes, you're pouring liquid fertilizer down the drain. This water contains dissolved starches and minerals that plants absolutely love, and it's more effective than many commercial root stimulants. Here's what you're wasting money on right now. Root stimulants and plant boosters cost $15.25 per bottle and promise to help plants develop stronger root systems and absorb nutrients better. But the starchy water from cooking pasta does exactly the same thing for free. When you boil pasta, rice, or potatoes, the starches leach into the cooking water. These natural carbohydrates feed beneficial soil bacteria, which in turn help plants absorb nutrients more efficiently. It's like probiotics for your garden. But here's the crucial part most people get wrong. You cannot use this water while it's hot, and you cannot use salted water. Hot water will kill plant roots instantly, and salt damages soil structure and burns plant leaves. Here's the right way to do it. After draining your pasta or rice, let the cooking water cool to room temperature. This usually takes 2-3 hours. Never add salt to water that you plan to use in the garden. Cook your pasta with salt added after draining if you need it for flavor. Once cooled, dilute the starchy water with regular water at a 1:1 ratio. This prevents overfeeding and ensures the solution won't be too concentrated for delicate plant roots. Use this diluted pasta water to water your plants once per week during the growing season. The starches feed soil microorganisms, which break down organic matter and make nutrients more available to plant roots. Here's what makes this hack so powerful. The beneficial bacteria that feed on these starches also protect plant roots from harmful fungi and diseases. You're getting fertilizer and disease prevention in one free treatment. But wait, nice. There's an even better version of this hack. Save the water from steaming vegetables too. This water contains water-soluble vitamins and minerals that leached from the vegetables during cooking. It's like a multivitamin for your plants. Let me break down the savings. A good root stimulant costs $20 and treats about 50 plants for one application. Most gardeners apply these products 6 times per season, so that's $120 per year, just for root enhancement. The average family cooks pasta, rice, or potatoes 4 times per week. That's enough starchy water to treat a large garden every week throughout the entire growing season, completely free. Maria from New Jersey started using pasta water on her basil plants last summer. Not only did they grow 50% larger than previous years, but the flavor was noticeably more intense. She saved $95 by not buying liquid fertilizers and had the best herb harvest of her life. Here's a pro tip that multiplies your results. Save the water from cooking different types of starches. Pasta water, rice water, potato water, each has a slightly different nutrient profile. Rotate between them to give your plants a varied diet. You can store cooled pasta water in the refrigerator for up to 1 week, or freeze it in ice cube trays for longer storage. Just remember to thaw and dilute before using. Now the final hack is the most powerful of all, because it eliminates your biggest gardening expense while creating the richest soil you've ever seen. This is the secret that turns kitchen scraps into garden gold. But first, tell me in the comments, do you cook pasta or rice at least twice a week? Because if you do, you're sitting on a goldmine of free plant food. Hack number 7 is called the Bokashi Bucket Revolution, and it's going to transform every piece of food waste into premium soil amendment in just 30 days. Most people spend $40-$60 per year on compost and soil amendments, but they're throwing away kitchen scraps worth twice that amount. This Japanese fermentation method turns all food waste, even meat and dairy, into incredibly rich fertilizer. Here's the expensive problem you're facing right now. Good quality compost costs $4.6 per bag, and most gardens need 10-15 bags per season. That's $60-$90 just for basic soil improvement. Premium compost with beneficial microorganisms costs even more. At the same time, the average family throws away $1,500 worth of food every year. That's not just wasted money, it's wasted soil building potential. Traditional composting only handles vegetable scraps and takes 6-12 months to produce usable compost. But Bokashi fermentation processes all organic waste in just 2-4 weeks, including meat, dairy, and cooked foods that regular composting can't handle. Here's how to set up your own Bokashi system for less than $20. You need 2 5-gallon buckets with tight-fitting lids, and Bokashi brand POS, a mixture of wheat bran and beneficial microorganisms that you can buy online for about $15. Drill a dozen small holes in the bottom of one bucket, then nest it inside the second bucket. The bottom bucket catches the liquid that drains out. This liquid is pure gold for your plants. Every day, add your kitchen scraps to the top bucket, vegetable peels, fruit cores, coffee grounds, even leftover meat and dairy. Sprinkle a handful of Bokashi bran over each layer, press down to remove air pockets, and replace the lid tightly. The magic happens through an aerobic fermentation. Beneficial microorganisms break down the organic matter without oxygen, eliminating odors and preventing decay. After 2 weeks, the scraps will smell sweet and pickled, not rotten. Here's the incredible part. The liquid that drains into the bottom bucket is concentrated fertilizer that's 10 times stronger than compost tea. Dilute it 1/100 with water, and use it to feed any plant in your garden. After 4 weeks, bury the fermented scraps directly in your garden soil. They'll decompose completely within 2 weeks, releasing nutrients slowly and feeding earthworms and beneficial soil organisms. Let me show you the amazing savings. A family of 4 produces about 20 pounds of food waste per month. When fermented through Bokashi, this creates the equivalent of $25-30 worth of premium compost and liquid fertilizer every single month. The initial investment is $20 for Bokashi bran and buckets. The bran lasts for months, and you can even make your own by mixing molasses, water, and effective microorganisms with wheat bran. David from California started Bokashi composting 6 months ago. He went from spending $120 per year on soil amendments to spending nothing, while producing twice as much compost as his old bin system. His vegetable yields increased by 40% the first season. Here's the bonus benefit nobody talks about. Bokashi composted soil develops incredible water retention. Plants grown in Bokashi-enriched soil need 30 to 40% less watering, which saves money on your water bill too. Let's add up your total savings from these 7 sustainable garden hacks. Coffee grounds replace $150 worth of fertilizer and pest control. Eggshells eliminate $45 in calcium supplements and slug deterrents. Newspaper mulch saves $100 on mulch weeds and water costs. Pasta water replaces $95 in root stimulants and liquid fertilizers. Bokashi composting saves $150 per year on soil amendments while reducing food waste. Rainwater harvesting saves $100 or more. Seed saving cuts seed costs in half. That's well over $700 in savings every single year, while creating a healthier, more productive garden than any amount of store-bought products could give you. But here's what I really want you to understand. These aren't just money-saving tricks, they're planet-saving solutions. Every coffee ground you use is 1 less pound in a landfill. Every eggshell you powder reduces packaging waste. Every newspaper you mulch with extends its useful life. Every drop of pasta water you save prevents water waste. And every scrap you Bokashi compost reduces methane emissions from landfills. You're not just growing a garden, you're growing a better future. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe to Golden Seniors Living for more money-saving, planet-friendly tips that help you live your best life. Hit that bell icon so you never miss our latest discoveries. Next week, I'm revealing 5 more sustainable hacks that will cut your grocery bill while improving your health. You won't want to miss how to grow $200 worth of organic vegetables in just 4 square feet of space. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 7 hacks you're most excited to try. And if you implement all 7, I guarantee you'll have the most productive, economical garden in your neighborhood. Until next time, keep growing green and saving money. This is Golden Seniors Living, helping you thrive in your golden years.